I'm Lily Thompson, 23, standing in the middle of my parents' living room, surrounded by the evidence I've painstakingly gathered. I'm finally ready to confront them. The silence is deafening as I look at my mother, Helen, and father, Richard, their faces a mask of shock and denial. It all started on the day of my college graduation party. The party was a grand affair, held at my parents' luxurious mansion in Beverly Hills. The decorations were opulent, the food was exquisite, and the guests were all dressed to the nines. But beneath the surface, I could sense that something was off. My parents had always been controlling and demanding. They were both high-powered executives in the corporate world, and they expected me to follow in their footsteps. From a young age, I was pushed to excel in school, participate in prestigious extracurricular activities, and make friends with the right people. Nothing I did was ever quite good enough for them. When I got accepted into Stanford University's environmental science program, they were less than thrilled. They wanted me to go to an Ivy League school like Harvard or Yale. But Stanford was my choice, a chance for me to pursue my passion for the environment. And when I received a full academic scholarship, they were furious. "You've thrown away our plans for you," my mother hissed at me. "We've worked so hard to set you up for an Ivy League education, and this is how you repay us?" I couldn't make them understand that the scholarship was a huge achievement, a validation of my hard work. They saw it as a rejection of their carefully laid out path for me. During my time at Stanford, I found a new sense of freedom. I made friends who supported me for who I was, not for what I could do for them. One of those friends was Jake Miller. He was a journalism major from a working-class family in Ohio. His parents were small business owners, and they had instilled in him a strong sense of integrity and kindness. When I introduced Jake to my parents over video call, their disapproval was immediate. "He has no connections in the business world," my father said dismissively. "What kind of future can he offer you?" But Jake was my rock. He encouraged me to stand up to my parents and follow my own dreams. And as I grew more confident in my abilities, I became more determined to break free from my parents' control. As graduation approached, I decided to have a small party to celebrate with my close friends and family. But my parents had other plans. They took over the party, turning it into a networking event for their business associates. They invited people I barely knew, chose a menu I didn't like, and even picked out my dress. The day of the party, as I was mingling with the guests, I noticed my parents huddled in a corner, whispering and glancing at me. A sense of unease settled over me. Then, my mother approached me with a glass of champagne. "Here's to your future, dear," she said with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. As I took the glass, I noticed a strange smell, a faint bitter odor beneath the alcohol. My training in environmental science, which included some knowledge of toxins, set off alarm bells in my head. I pretended to take a sip, but instead, I spat the liquid into a napkin when no one was looking. I quickly texted Jake. "Emergency. Parents gave me a suspicious drink. It might be poisoned." Jake rushed to my side, and together, we managed to sneak the drink into my old bedroom. Using a simple testing kit I had brought for a project, we confirmed our worst fears. The drink was laced with cyanide. Shocked and terrified, I realized that my parents were willing to go to extreme lengths to control me. But I wasn't going to be a victim. I started to gather evidence, taking photos of the drink, the test results, and documenting everything that had happened. The next day, while my parents were out for a business meeting, I decided to search the house for more evidence of their motives. In my father's office, I found a stack of financial documents. To my horror, I discovered that their business was on the verge of collapse. They were deeply in debt, and they had taken out a large life insurance policy on me, with them as the beneficiaries. It all made sense now. They thought that by getting rid of me, they could solve their financial problems and maintain their social status. But I wasn't going to let them get away with it. I confided in my uncle, Tom, my mother's brother. He had always been the black sheep of the family, choosing a life as a nature photographer over a corporate career. He listened to my story, looked at the evidence, and promised to help me. With the help of Jake and Uncle Tom, we formulated a plan to confront my parents. We brought in a detective, a friend of Uncle Tom's who wasn't connected to my parents' social circle. And today, we're here, ready to expose their evil plot. As I lay out the evidence in front of them, my parents' denials start to crumble. "This is all a misunderstanding," my father insists, but his voice lacks conviction. "You tried to kill me for money," I say, my voice steady. "You've spent my whole life trying to control me, and when I finally found my own path, you decided to eliminate me." My mother's face turns red with anger. "You ungrateful child. You were supposed to be our ticket to a better future, but you've ruined everything." My father grabs her arm, but it's too late. "The truth is out." "We were just trying to protect our family," he says weakly. The detective steps forward and says, "Richard and Helen Thompson, you are under arrest for the attempted murder of Lily Thompson." As they are led away in handcuffs, I feel a strange mix of relief and sadness. The parents who I once loved and respected have turned out to be monsters. But I'm also proud of myself for standing up to them and for finding the strength to build a life of my own. In the months that followed, I focused on my recovery. I started therapy to deal with the complex trauma I had experienced. Jake deferred his first semester of graduate school to be with me, and we found a small apartment in San Francisco near my new job at an environmental research firm. Uncle Tom became a constant source of support, checking in on me regularly and hosting family dinners. My professional life flourished. I was promoted to a research associate within a year and was contributing to important projects. And on the anniversary of my graduation party, I decided to host a small gathering of my chosen family, Jake, Uncle Tom, my Stanford friends, and my therapy group facilitator. "To choosing our own paths and our own people," I said, raising a glass of sparkling water. "To building something real from the ashes of the past." As we clinked glasses, I felt a profound sense of peace. The future stretched out before me, full of possibilities. I had learned that sometimes the family we choose is more precious than the one we're born into, and that true strength comes from surviving the unthinkable.